What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be diving back on into Endzone, A World Apart. This game just recently had a major content release, and by recently I mean this morning as of the recording of the video. So anyways, if you take a look right now, this is the roadmap, and the game has been developing fast. They've been putting out like a monthly chunky patch to the game every single time, which is sort of good. Like, I get a lot of questions about this game versus, like, Surviving the Aftermath, because both games came out within a short span of each other. You know, Surviving the Aftermath came out on Epic, Endzone World Apart, I think, dropped over here on Steam, and they're both very, very similar kind of Banished-style city builder games set in the post-apocalypse. And so anyways, at the beginning, like, Surviving the Apocalypse was putting out just crazy patches, like, their development team was working overtime getting out content, and I would tell people, you know, that to me says that you probably want to go with Surviving the Aftermath, but in all honesty, over the last 6 months or so, they've really, I honestly think that the Endzone developers know that Surviving the Aftermath is kind of running a hard race right now to be the survival game city builder, and I think the developers of this game have really upped their A game, and they've been putting out content, and they've been trying to keep up, and, you know, they've been putting out big, beefy patches once a month, and so we're going to dive on and check the game on out. Spend about 30 minutes with it so you guys can check it out. See if it's something you wanted to add. This most recent patch added leadership, like you can add a town forum, and you can have like democracy, or you can decide to kind of like vote on civics and things like that. A little bit different from what Surviving the Aftermath is going for. Surviving the Aftermath, I think, is meant to be a bit more like a Civ game, because it's got the overmap with the hexes, and you can move around and raid other people's settlements and things like that. Whereas this game seems to be going in more of a civic direction, although I couldn't honestly say. Let's go ahead. We've got we'll leave everything on default right now. Demonia? No, absolutely not. We will name this Ballerton, because everyone here is going to have a super rad grill full of diamonds. So saith the splat. Alright, so here we are with our settlement. All we've got is like this moldy Winnebago, I guess. Well, this looks like a good place to settle. You know what we learned? In Endzone, basic needs come first and foremost. We have to build up a water and food supply, and then we'll build a new home. Alright, so here we are. The game's map is pretty large and generous, in all honesty. Like, this is a medium-sized map right here, which is pretty big. I think in most games, this would be like a large-size map. Like, if you were playing Stronghold or any other game where you kind of just, like, freely build. Like, this to me feels like it would be a map that was, like, huge. Speaking of which, how come nobody has made a good Stronghold game? Like, do you guys understand how husky I am about the prospects of just a sandbox castle builder where you just defend from randomized sieges? Like, I know that there's kingdoms and castles, but it lacks that grit and realism that the old Stronghold games kind of had. And, like, the Stronghold games were always kind of janky, but man, somebody just needs to buy that IP and just give it the loving that it deserves. The first things that we're going to need, water and food. Those tend to be the... Actually, let's check our radiation first. So it's unfortunate. The randomized radiation on our map pretty much runs right up to our Winnebago, which is kind of, like, not good. You would sort of hope... Can I relocate this? I don't think that I can, but I would like that as an option. It would be really, really nice, since you don't really get to pick where your Winnebago goes. I would like the option to, like, pack it up and redeploy it. Like, it does say, like, in the flavor text that it can be packed and unpacked. And so, anyways, I would like to pack it up and just, like, move it over to here. Because we've got, like, this beautiful strip that just has no radiation going down the center. And, like, this right here is almost on top of our Winnebago, and what that's going to do is, as they put goods and sundries inside the Winnebago, anytime they interact with the Winnebago, there's going to be a chance that they get irradiated. And so, like, this is only light radiation. It's not that bad. I'd be a lot more worried if it was yellow radiation. Green radiation, you can't, like, ignore it, but you can kind of ignore it. So anyways, let's start off and get our basics done here. I'm going to build a well because we don't have any water nearby that's freely accessible. And so I think a well is going to be the labor-intensive version of water harvesting that we need to get underway. We're going to keep it nice and safely away from the radiation zone over here. We're going to pause up the game. We're going to assign everybody to be a builder for right now. We have 10 settlers available for us to play around with. And we'll just kind of speed this up so that they get this finished off. You'll notice some of these people will cut loose. They'll come on over here. They'll start building some things. Actually, it looks like we've got a maximum of 2 builders working on that, so we don't need to worry about it for right now. The other thing that we're going to need is we are going to need some kind of water storage. We can go with a water tower if we had more advanced gear. But for right now, a cistern is probably going to be the best thing to pull out. And so we'll get the cistern for right now. Let me take a look at this. I want to make sure that this kind of lines up a little bit. I'll have it like, I want them all facing the street in the same way. So we'll get that built right there. There's a few more workers going on out. The other thing we're going to need is we're going to need access to wood, and we're going to need access to scrap. Otherwise, our building is going to run short really, really fast. The other thing we're going to need access to is going to be food. So we probably want to put like a forager's hut, a gatherer's garden, whatever you want to call it. Many flowers we are growing. If you want to be amazing, get the flowers we are raising. All right, so I'm gonna go back over. I played through the entire BioShock series for the first time since like 2012, and it was actually pretty satisfying. I'll be honest. BioShock 1 did not age very well. BioShock 2 aged incredibly. Probably aged the best of all the game. Honestly, probably the best game in the series if you don't count the storyline. The storyline is terrible, but probably the best mechanical game of the trio. Like really, really good, in fact. I liked it a lot. And then Infinite was Infinite, you know what I mean? Like, Infinite was okay. I never, like, loved Infinite the same way some people loved Infinite. I always thought that Infinite was like, alright. It's alright. Like, it's not, like, the best game ever. It never really, I don't know, Infinite didn't feel like BioShock to me for whatever reason. So we're going to put in a scrapyard, and then we're also going to put in a wood gatherer, too. And that's going to be about the amount of stuff that we have ready to rot. Like, we're pretty much out of resources now, but we got the basics covered. We got some food, we got some water, we got like basic gatherings so that we can get like the materials we need in order to build the more basic stuff. So like, we're all right. We're in an okay situation right now. The final thing we're gonna need to do is assign workers. So we need one for the well keeper. We probably need like one water carrier would be the best way to do it for right now. I'll probably go with 2 food gatherers, and we'll just keep an eye on our food supply and sort of see what happens. The last time I played this game, as I recall, my food gatherers were way more efficient than my water gatherers. Like, I had, like, 2 food gatherers, and they were maxing out my stockpile, so I don't know if that's been adjusted or changed. We'll probably get 2 scrap collectors, and then we'll probably get 2 foresters. And from there, we're just going to have to wait for our population to grow. We've only got 2 builders left, so everything's going to take time. Time after time. If you're lost and you look, then you will find me. Time after time. Alright, so they're going to gather scrap from over here while getting mildly irradiated in the face. I suppose we can turn off the radiation overlay. So as far as water goes, if we're going to have farming or whatever, it would seem to me that we either want to use this down here, we want to use this area right here, but it says that this area is actually like fully wet. And this fully wet area makes me think we're going to get things like slime molds and whatnot. I don't know if that's been implemented into the game, but there's got to be some penalty for planting in areas that are too slimy. It's just a thought that I had. Our food does appear to be creeping upwards, so that's really, really nice. Keep an eye on that as time goes along. You'll see one guy over here. The buildings are all animated too. So like, for example, with this building right here, there's a bike out front. You can probably barely just see the frame right there. Like a little guy will come over here and he'll jump on the bike and he pedals on the bike like a hamster to pull water up out of the ground because we don't have electricity. Later on, once we upgrade this, we can actually hook it up to the electrical grid and it'll run on its own. But for right now, it's a building that requires maintenance. In addition, you probably want to have like a guy to bring water over to your storage. Otherwise, weird stuff's going to happen. This is not going to be the most effective building operation for a little while. I mean, they are filling. They're doing okay. They're throwing it in there. Apparently, we've told them to reserve like 1 million of this. I wonder if it counts. So does it add to our water supply while it's inside the actual building? Because I don't see the number going up. But, oh, there it goes right there. Yeah, so I guess it only becomes drinkable water once it's been transferred to that building right there. That's exactly what it is. Our food seems to be at an equilibrium for right now, so that's good to pay attention to. We have 5 children ready to rock. We've gathered some more materials, so my thought would be, let's check out our radiation situation and make sure that we don't end up with a radiation invasion. I don't know if that, a radiation sensation. There we go. That works better. Make sure we don't end up with a radiation sensation, you know, while we're chilling and enjoying libations inside of our houses. I'll leave space for a road, like right there. And the road will turn to like an elbow right here, I think. Actually, we could have like a little road that kind of runs. Yeah, we could do that right there. That looks okay to me. So we put that like right there. And then the road will turn like right here. There we go. Like 4 houses. Hopefully that'll be good enough for right now. But like, I don't know how many they're going to need. Oh, cool. We got an extra worker too. Very nice. We've got one person that's just like being a settler out here. Let's go ahead and let's mess around with food. Seems to be mildly positive. Water seems to be mildly positive. The well, unfortunately, does not seem to be a super efficient way. Well, actually, it's doing okay. It's not doing too bad. I don't want to besmirch the good name of the water well unnecessarily for right now. So we've got a number of people that are living inside these houses. Hopefully this will cause them to procreate. People don't like doing it out in the fields in front of their neighbors unless they've got certain lifestyle choices or unless they've got like a certain kink. They're not going to be doing that. So we got to give them like a house made out of corrugated tetanus that they can get naked inside of. This guy, for example, has his mattress on the roof. Just in case you wanted to do, we call that the fiddler, by the way. That's when you make a baby on the roof. Let's see here. We're actually kind of like good to go right now. We're actually not in bad shape. We're pretty much where I want to be. It'll tell us how many people need houses. Apparently I have rich food. Okay. We are going to want to start looking into maybe like, I don't know if we can get a tool maker. Like a tool maker would be a really, really good idea because I think a lot of the jobs that we do are limited by tools. And so like, I think starting off looking to see where we can make tools is a really good place to go. And so in order to get tools, we're going to need metal. And to get metal, I assume that we're going to need either a mine, which we can't do right now because we don't have the research, but we have a recycler right here. This will slowly separate metal, cloth, plastic, and electronics from scrap. And so we'll end up with a small amount of the advanced stuff from our basic materials if we have the recycler. So I think it might not be a bad idea. We can stack the recycler up. I'm going to leave this as like my industrial zone, I guess, because we do seem to be dealing with kind of like a beautification system that we have to pay attention to. So there's a beautification overlay right here. Location attractiveness. So these have a negative influence right here. You can see that reflected on that building. I assume... Oh, we can just freely tell them to do stuff, too. Well, I totally missed that entire menu. But on the flippity flop, did I miss a major mechanic? Sure. I missed a major mechanic, but in missing the major mechanic, it forced me to create a totally self-sufficient society where we produce all the things that we need. And so, like, you know, let's not cry over built industry, okay? Removing radiation. Really? You can do that, huh? Do we need like a toxic waste dump or something though in order to do that? I mean, because like I wouldn't be against pushing this back right here so it's like not in the center of town. Like honestly, I don't even know what this is going to do. Like, does this need to be stored somewhere? Does it need to be put somewhere? That's the part that worries me a little bit. Is like, so if we push this back so that we get a little bit more building space, what happens? They actually seem to be taking care of it somewhat efficiently. I assume that it's builders that are working on that, so we'll add a few more builders. And yeah, just push that back. Oh, it comes back though. Well, that's not great. That definitely wasn't what I was going for. Okay, can I remove... Yeah, let's remove radiation from, like, over here. Because it looks like it's spreadificating. Yeah, just get rid of, like, all the little radiation spots. Oh, that's kind of an interesting mechanic. So it looks like it's got some kind of creep to it. All right. So, like, you've got to get it all iteratively in the right order, or it's just going to, like, repopulate itself. Gotcha. And since that one right there... Oh, it's around the back, too. I mean, I guess it doesn't entirely matter altogether that much, because it's just going to creep back from over here, right? So why stress about it? Interesting. We'll see if it creeps back. We did a pretty good job just kind of pushing it back from right there, and we'll see what happens next. I don't honestly know. I have no clue what's going to transpire. We are going to need somebody to work over here at the recycler, and I think that... Oh, we've got another settler. Never mind. We're going to... There you go. Throw you in right there. Ready to rock. Burn hazardous fumes. And yeah, spend your life just kind of messing around with PCBs and whatnot. And I won't complain at you. It actually looks like it kind of stays cleared. Make me some metal so that I can make some tools and whatnot. If you could separate metal, I would appreciate it first. But let's kind of like get ourselves... Let's figure out where we want to go next. An irrigation plant, huh? Interesting. All right, so you can moisturize your own land. We've got orchards over here. Food is getting lower, so it might be a considerable... It might be an okay idea to maybe add somebody else to gathering, just to try to make sure that we get it all. It looks like my gatherer still has plenty of locations to gather from, so I don't think we're going to be out for a little while. It's also possible that the food dipped off because, like, it was kind of late at night and people were sleeping and not working. That's also a possibility, but we'll add one more person to it just to make sure. We're not getting any warnings right now about houses being over full, which is great. Looks like we just picked up another settler who I will assign to gather. I haven't played around with any of, like, the farming. We can get a hunting lodge. That'd be kind of cool. I did see boar running around. Whether or not they're, like, irradiated boar, I don't know, but I did see boar running around. Other things we can play around with. The workshop was something that I think we were actively interested in. What is that right there? Radiation protection? Oh, nice. So we have, like, radiation protection keeps your settlers healthy by shielding them against radiation when they move around. Oh, cool. So we have enough radiation protection for, like, 15 people. Okay, that's also good to know. An herbal hut. It will gather herbs in the forest which can be used to improve settler health. Okay. The campfire is a meeting place where people can hang out. I think that sounds like a really good idea, actually. Let's have a campfire. I'll put that down. Everybody loves a bonfire, dude. That's one of the great... Hey, what are you doing over here with this radiation? What are you doing? Stop that. You stop that right this instant. What is this ridiculous band of radiation that just, like, spread out with its tendril and has just, like, come through the rest of my society? What is this? I don't accept this. Make it go away, please. You guys go where... Look, it's turning our Winnebago green. It's making our Winnebago unpleasant. I like the Winnebago to be at maximum pleasantness whenever possible. Alright, we're clearing out the radiation finally, and the good news is I think our campfire is done too. Like, our campfire is ready to rock down here, and it's looking pretty spiffy, so that's a place where people can go to get their mood back up. I assume it's just like a mood building. We can get hedges and things down here, but it looks like they cost wood, I guess. A scrap totem that increases the attractiveness in the vicinity of the object. Dude, is that a scrap dragon? Oh, great and wondrous scrap dragon. We pray to you for your emotion-boosting influences. All right, we'll put like a torch next to it. Hold on, one thing at a time here. We'll put a torch next to it and like a torch next to it, because obviously having an open flame around the back of that place is a really good idea. All right, we've got like some hedges now that we can play around with. I think it'd be a really good idea. We'll put like a hedge in like right there, a hedge in like right there, hedge in like right there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then we'll kind of put that. It's decorative, man. It's decorative. It makes the whole thing look better. I am the great scrap dragon. Great scrap dragon, have you awakened? What does that mean? An oncoming drought? Oh no. Well, that's not good. How long is that gonna last? Stockpile water. Well, when is it gonna happen? Oh no. That's upsetting. That makes me sad. Please don't do that. Alright, so we need a few more cabins out here. Where was the radiation at down here? I know there's some radiation down here, and I don't want my people living in radiation. Great scrap dragon, Oh, really? People like this area now. Hell yeah. That's all it takes, dude. That's all it takes is a couple of giant scrap effigies. I'm just going to turn this into like a warren over here, basically. I know that's not a positive word that you normally use to associate with any neighborhood that anybody actually wants to live in. But that being said, you know, it's a warren. Like, it's just going to be kind of a little rabbit hole over here that's got lots of twisty and turny roads that you're probably going to get shivved in all honesty, if you walk around in there after dark. Yeah, you kill that radiation. You kill that radiation dead. Now we got 4 gatherers, so we're good to go over there. I'm going to keep on. I'm going to get another builder, I think. Another builder sounds pretty good. Let's definitely get another builder. Nice. We have a higher rate of reproduction. Newborn settlers get somewhat older. Okay, so like our mood also affects how fast the children grow up, maybe? Fair enough. I'm not going to question it. I'm going to suspend my disbelief for the sake of video game logic. Got lots of scrap. We are not bringing in metal at the rate that I was hoping, though. Like, the metal is really inefficient. So I think we're going to have to find a new way to make this work. Like, I was worried it was going to chew through all my scrap, and in fact, it did not. It's not going very quickly at all. So we could definitely put in some roads. I think that would beautify the place a bit. We've got a storeroom. We've got a market. Okay. All right. A research station. Not a bad idea. That would allow us to get new technologies, which, by the way, where's the technology menu? I actually don't particularly see a research button anywhere. I just went through the UI, and I'm pretty sure we probably access research through the research station then, because I don't see anything around that's going to make that happen. Lots of babies being born, so that's really, really good. I do wish it auto-assigned your settlers to be builders. Like, it'd be faster and just kind of more efficient. Like, I don't know if the actual settler job does anything. It's kind of my question, I guess. I could add another water hauler. This man's gonna have some strong legs. He's gonna have them, like, he's gonna have them cyclist legs. Them legs that, like, you know, them thick Lance Armstrong legs that are all covered in veinies. I don't know if there's any animals around here, but I would love to eat them if there are. Animals? Are you around here? That's a scrap pile. That's not helpful. I have no idea why that scrap pile is so glowy. It apparently is just catching the light source, like, perfectly. I was like, blind! Looks like we've got this. I don't think this was a thing the last time I played the game. There's a train wreck over here. Okay, fair enough. A greenhouse. Looks like there's, like, some major locations that we can get some fat loot out of if we need to go after it. All right. Sounds like a plan to me. Let's build some roads. I like roads. Roads are good. I don't think roads are decorative, though. There we go. Let's see how long it takes them to mash out a road. Just like right there. Like, how long is that thoroughfare gonna take? Because, like, all things considered, we've got, like, 4 builders, so it's probably going to take a little while to get that finished off. Like, knowing what I know about Caltrans is, like, we got to make sure that we have 4 guys on the crew. So you got one guy that's in the hole leaning on his shovel, and then you've got another guy who's in the truck reading a book, and then you've got 2 other guys that are standing above the hole telling the guy in the hole how he should dig it. And there you go, Caltrans. That's how the highways get built. They actually mash out roads, like, disgustingly quickly. So that's pretty awesome. I can live with that. That works for me. Let's go ahead and put in some more roads then, because the roads do seem to make them go a lot faster from point A to point B. And they beautify the place, and they make it look less like trash. And I'm not, like, trying to be the king of Shantytown out here, okay? Like, we've got this kind of, like, Waterworld vibe going right now that, like, is cool for a developing society, but for, like, a society that matters, we're gonna have to move past this pretty quickly. Otherwise, it's just not gonna work out for anybody involved. So you guys mash out the roads. We are gathering food and water, hopefully. I don't know what reserved means. I assume that that's food that, like, somebody has claimed for, like, their daily ration, but I don't particularly know. Hopefully the drought doesn't affect things too much. I mean, rain catches would be nice too. How much does a rain catch cost? A rainwater collector. Oh, we need plastics for that. Gotcha. Okay, well, let's just stick with our... Let's just stick with our workshop then, because we've got the materials that we need in order to make this. So we can kind of just plop this over here. Yeah, exactly. Plop. Perfect. Plopperinos. And we're getting kind of low on tools. Also, radiation protection is not going super great. So we'll probably need to figure out how we can make a hemp weaving mill. That's probably a good thing to make. I believe our population is growing, which is why the food is now at equilibrium. So we may have to add a new food gleaning source pretty soon. I was figuring like a hunter's shack like down here, because obviously we got pigs and things running around, and every single one of them is worth like 150 food. Once we expand the city out and it gets a little larger, we can start fishing this little lake down here too. I don't know if it's gonna have like a limited amount of fish in it like the Universe Sim or whatever, but we can give it a go. I just love city builders, man. They're it's such a great genre that gets like no love. Like, every time a city builder gets made, they try to, like, mix it with Civ, or they try to, like, mix it with, like, Crusader Kings or something. What happened to just good old-fashioned city building, man? Just, like, banish. Just make the city bigger. SimCity 2000. Just make it bigger. That's the only goal, is how much more can I make before I collapse the entire system. I watched a video a long time ago with a guy who's he's a city planner. Like, he works for a large city in the United States, and he's a city planner. It's what he does. And he's building a city in SimCity and talking about why he's building it the way he's building it. Are they out of scrap? Oh, they got it all. Okay, well, we can tear this bitch down then. Change field of work. Oh, I can move it? Bro! Okay, well, that's easier. Let me take a look at my radiation here. How bad is does radiation... Oh, really? Rainfall gets rid of radiation. Interesting. Is that a real thing? Does rainfall kill radiation? Fair enough. Like, I'm not going to stop working. Let's see here. What about you? Yeah, where are you? Change your field of work. Where are you trying to work at? Like, where you... Yeah, go over there. Where you trying to... Maybe that's why you're not producing as much food, is because, like, you've cleared out your closer field and it's taking you longer, maybe? Actually, what's closer? That over there or that over... I think that over there is closer. I think it'll be okay. I've got technicians over here. Listen, we're not building crude tools out of sticks and stones, okay? I'm a technician. I prefer to refer to myself as a lithic engineer, all right? A lapidary specialist. Let's see here. Lapidary is not really a word you hear that very often. That was my great-grandfather was a lapidary. You don't hear the word lapidary very often. Lapidary was somebody that works with semi-precious stones, so like a jeweler, but not with gold and silver and, you know, rubies and emeralds. Somebody that's like a lapidary more than likely will be working with cooperite or working with like jade and things like that. They got like stone tumblers and all that kind of fun stuff that they can mess around with. What do we have going on over here? So they're still chopping out trees. We're almost maxed out on like our resources. Like, we could actually probably effectively not have anybody work at the scrapyard anymore. And I mean that in the most honest way possible. Like, we have so much scrap that I'm not even worried about it anymore. I don't know how many people are homeless, so 3 settlers are homeless right now, which means that I should probably... Dude, there's no radiation left. Nice! I didn't expect the rain to kill all the radiation. Pretty happy about it. It looks like we're going to have the drought pretty soon, and then the drought's going to floweth over for a little while. We've got like 1 day left, I think, until that hits, so we've got a little bit of time to play with. They should be making tools over here. I have no idea how effective this is going to be. Yeah, make scrap tools. Like, do what you got to do to make scrap tools. Are these guys all... So there's a cistern right there. I feel like if I put more manufacturing over here, I feel like I should have put it over here because they're having to walk a really long ways to go pick that up. I didn't consider that. We put in the roads, which is really, really good because they definitely speed up and slow down based upon whether or not they're on roads. Let's do the houses real fast. The houses are probably the most effective thing we could do for right now. Housing. And now that there's no radiation, it's easier than ever. We can just mash out the houses. Like, I used to actually show consideration for where this stuff was going to go. And then at the end of the... Dude... That's a pretty cool. I mean, if my Mad Max style leather thong wearing, bondage mask bearing, mega horn wielding leader built that for me in the town square, I'd be really thankful. Just saying, like I would be super thankful about it. What is this? What is that? Is it like auto saving my game or something? Stop that. Okay, you can auto save my game. I take it back. Never mind. If you notice, the landscape is drying out right now in the drought. It's a little detail that maybe like some people wouldn't have noticed, but there actually is like, the grass actually has different moisture levels. That's kind of cool. So like the green grass over here is more moist. This is more dry. It's pretty rad actually. I like that. Okay, so we got 16 metal laying around. I'd like to get a rain catch. Like it's such an obvious place to get water that I feel like a rain catch is a really good idea. So go ahead and produce me some plastics for right now. I feel like we've got plenty of metals. We don't really have any radiation protection yet, but like the water wiped out all the radiation anyways. So I'm not gonna stress about it. Logistically, let's finish off the road down here. We'll have this come down this way. Can you tell I'm American? American city planning is like universally in grids of squares. Like every single time. It's just how we build stuff. Just grids of squares. There we go. Put that in right there. And then this is actually going to be our first weird road over here. I'll double space it. Everything doesn't have to be standardized. Like, this is not a city that's being built by professional builders. This is a city that's being built by people that survived and have, like, the leftover knowledge of, like, whatever, you know? As a decontamination post. Interesting. We need plastics for it. And whatever the hell that is. Coal. Coal. Okay. Good to know. Medical facility might not be a bad idea. We haven't been hit by any type of, like, disease or anything yet. Nor do I know if that has been implemented. But it is a consideration that sort of worries me. Seeing as we have no new population and nothing else is really happening, this is probably a good point to step off. I'm impressed with this game's progress so far. It started out more bare bones than surviving the aftermath. But at the same time, like, they have been patching. They have been working and they have been adding stuff, and it warms my heart to see more games coming out. We've hit no bugs today. There haven't been any major issues. The difficulty curve seems to be about what is expected for the beginning of a game like this. Like, they give you enough resources to kind of get yourself moving. So you don't have to worry about that too much. And so anyways, I'm kind of happy with where it's at. I'd like to see more advanced tactics. Maybe we'll check that out on stream. Fair warning, you can check out my Discord and you can also follow my Twitch stream. I haven't been streaming lately because I am in the area where like all the California fires are and it's wiped out the infrastructure. And so it takes me like 3 hours to upload a video right now because with all the data rerouting and everything that they're doing all over the state for both the power outages and for like half the state being on fire. Unfortunately, internet bandwidth is hard to come by, and so I physically can't stream right now. I would love to. I want to come back to work. I definitely want to work, but unfortunately, it's just not in the cards. I don't have a stable internet connection right now with all the natural disasters happening, so I got to wait it out. I'll see y'all later. Thank you for being here. How you doing? Take care, everybody.